Okay, so it's not something I'm quite comfortable talking about, but we're going to get into this because it's been something that's nagging at me a bit. Um, yeah, I've wanted to be that peace loving, happy hippie. Part of me is part of that part of me is still within, but I'm noticing a lot being talked about the ascension, and the ascension is human evolution. I had all kinds of documents, but past is past. I don't have them any longer, which prepared for what's coming. The crystalline bodies, or crystalline body, and so forth. Um, but nobody's talking really about the darkness behind a lot of what is still going on. I was part of what I was going to talk about in my first video earlier today, and I decided to keep that sectioned off and um, look into or bring it up at a different time. Still trying to be used to going live, whatever that little whatever that's trying to make me feel as though I can't do this is bullshit. Get out of here. Um, so I read a message from somebody who had talked about the astro traveling astral plane, and to be careful of when you do things like that of entities and people working in the dark and cold. Let's leave it that it's that simple. Um, Unfortunately, I've encountered quite a few, and personally, I've actually healed one of them physically. They had they were literally arched over like this, and as I hugged him, I asked for him to heal, and he got to like that point of almost standing straight, and I was told stop. So I did, and me being me told him, next time I see you, we'll finish. Well, the guy made a comment to the other one that was the head of this, what I'm going to call a cult, and anybody who's heard me tell the story has told me that you're lucky to get away from that cult. Um, and this person is using the I am presence. This was a couple years ago. So, with the biblical knowledge he really had thrown me for a loop, and I went to this area to be a part of what I thought it was going to be. Let me put it this way: what I thought it was going to be a part of this beautiful group of people who understood Christ consciousness and the energy of that truth. It's not what I found. I found a lot of other stuff going on that did I did get awakened to a lot of things. Um, Mainly that there are some good other beings out there. Uh, but the guy that I helped heal made a comment about it's about time that they've been working on. The dark has been trying to set this up since the 70s, 60s or 70s, since like Woodstock or something like that. We had a comment since the, I want to say 70s, if I remember correctly. So this is something that my mind has like, no, don't forget. My mind or my soul, they like sometimes they they work together. Other times, society gets to me and I gotta beat it back. What I'm trying to get at here, as I'm working through this, We still need to be aware. I've been watching YouTube videos for quite a few years now, and the one YouTube video is actually the one that got me to go out and almost join a cult. I'm watching the same thing happen with these videos that people are getting together. I received a message a bit ago that even with pure positive intentions does not mean it's going to follow through as pure positive intentions this person's got later on down the road. Um, weird and like anyway. Um, I'm seeing it. It's bothersome because I'm seeing this, and my energy is telling me, my body's telling me, there's something wrong. Not always knowing what's wrong, but there's something wrong. Okay, so there's something wrong. Me being me. Let me see what's going on. Let me see if I can get answers. Well, it doesn't always work that good for you. Because what was expressed to me, sorry, I keep looking up. It's like, higher self, please talk with me here. Talk for me. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. The astroplaning. You can get vampiric people that attach to you. This was brought up, something that I knew, but I thought, okay, with all this stuff going on nowadays, now it's going to be here, my childish mind, yes, naive self. I'm okay, I'm safe. Well, there's more to it than that. You can't go in believing you're okay and you're safe. I've met people that once they make eye contact with you, they can take you astroplaning. They can take you astroplaning as you're standing right there in front of them. I've been in higher states of consciousness and being that I've literally, I can sit next to people and we will talk, and all of a sudden it gets quiet, and I can feel, I guess you call it third eye, but see us talking, and we don't even have to have a conversation in front of each other. Okay, that went off a little bit. What I'm getting, I want to stick to the bringing light to the dark, though. When you're astroplaning, please be careful if you're new at this. I'm still new at it, but there's a lot of work that can be done in that field, that realm, that can affect your everyday, that can affect the future. There's we are in a magical, as people would say, a magical world. Um, I'm not going to bring up the name. Many people know who it is in the Dead Sea Scrolls. That it depicts a lot of pretty serious things that go on. I'm hearing a couple things. Hooks. One person calls it as hooks that you go into the astroplane, and then that's when they can hook you. I was told by a pastor many years ago. Speaking of somebody, they're letting me know that they're here. And what I'm trying to say and get it a little more clearly is sometimes people can mess with you and you don't even realize it, and you can be in the middle of a conversation and you don't recall what the hell you're talking about. That could be somebody who has their hook on you, that is taking away energetically, taking away thoughts from you. Your astroplane is in the wow. Okay, I just realized it. Um, I know I've definitely astroplaned. I was quite aware in many of them and woke up crying one time because the person who was just giving me the hiccups is actually the one who I was astroplaning with when I actually had somebody helping me walk with me through astroplaning, more or less. As soon as I fell asleep, she would literally come and we would go astroplaning. And I still won't forget what I was doing. And to me, I heard a being. It was actually a different dimensional. It wasn't um, it was definitely a different dimensional being. And I remember crying over them when I snapped to realize that I was actually enraged. So I don't recall what that being had done, but I was enraged what I had done to them, or I was crying for what I had done to them while I was enraged, blacked out rage. And they asked me, "Are you done yet?" I was like, "Oh my god!" I kept apologizing and crying over them. And there was another time I asked her planed, and I still am a little wondering about that. But paying attention, if you, especially if you're new and you're aware of this astroplaning, and you do have control of what you're doing, definitely pay attention because, like I said, I've done something in astroplaning. I'd astroplaned, and I'm calling it that because it was a very vivid dream, and people were doing stuff, and they were laughing at me, and I had took control of the situation and freaked people out because I actually took over and took control. And then probably 4 to 6 months later, somebody on YouTube, because I'm not, I may be evolved enough, but this human body is not fully aware because I've grown up. I've done just said stuff and stuff would happen, and it's like I don't want to hurt people. That's not what I'm. I don't believe that's what I'm here for. Um, so I shut down a lot, and now things are getting very intense. And it's like, why did I shut down? Why did I allow myself to shut down? Not try to learn and advance myself in such knowledge. I don't know if any of you guys. I'm skipping around. I don't know if any of you have encountered this or aware of this, but you could be interactive. You could watch a live YouTube, and this could be why I keep cutting out. This is happening. I've watched live YouTube videos happen for quite a long time, and I don't know if it's the occult or if if it's the occult or white magic, dark magic. I don't know which one it is per se. They have they higher self talk, like I was talking a moment ago about. I can sit down with have a conversation with somebody, and next thing you know, it's brought to a higher level. Like we're not talking, but we're talking. I've said it to two people in my life this past year. I was like, do you not see us up here? We're like communicating up here, and but we're right here. It was so fascinating. Um, don't know where I was going with that. Oh gosh, but yeah, there's. Oh, okay, this is where I was going with it. Sorry. Oh, I love myself. um, communicating here. I watch live video. Ooh, I'm getting communication right now. Getting live video chat. I'm watching them on my television back when I had a TV of my own. Um, they would have conversations with each other. Then they would conversate with me. and ask me questions. I wouldn't verbally answer back, but I noticed that I started doing the head gesture, yes or no. There's a couple times um, I was asked questions and the answer would just blurt out of me. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Soul talking here. I hope this is good. I will admit that since those conversations, I don't know if I timeline jumped or what I had done. This world is not the same since they received the answers from me. One of the people happened to be out west. Oh, and that's the second thing too, is when I went back and rewatched the videos, none of the same conversation was being brought up. Really floored me. Because they were talking about Lilith, and that's um an encounter I've had. And I still, I worry. I keep myself quiet and because I've had a lot of negative wanting to bother me, and maybe it could be the fact that I'm not as armored up and just ready to go at it as I used to be. Calm down here. I think what a lot of people that are in this quick growth, I'll just drop it, forgive it, let it go, have not had demonic attacks, have not had trust issues because they've had a wonderful growing up. They've not had to deal with a lot of bull that I'm still trying to work through in this growth. But I can tell you there's still a lot of dark out there, and we really need to watch, pay attention to what we're watching. Um, oh, my heart just skipped. Um, Pay attention to what we're watching and who we're listening to. I had just listened to somebody who I truly believe is in touch with the Pleiadians. I read her book and it brought back some um, positive childhood emotions and some like clips of my stage of life saying, you know who they are. Anyway, moving forward, the person that the channeling that she received was telling her that they are infiltrating the people on YouTube now. To me, that was a validation I've felt for maybe a year or more, that some of these beautiful people are actually being infiltrated by was on earth. He said that if our lives are simple, then you can see with clarity. Did you say? Yes, I did say Lilith. If you have any information, I think it's time I stop running and seeking more truth on the things that have happened. He said that if our lives are simple, then you can see with clarity. Yes. Oh, okay. Letting my nerves calm down a little bit to really hear what you're saying. Yes. And unfortunately, living with my mom life is not simple. It's 47 years old trying to tell a dictator I'm grown. I may not make great decisions by your choice, but I, my brother before he passed even told my mom she lives in a different realm than we do. And anyway, I really would like to hear what you have to say because one of that was I was told she was removed from me after going out west. And when I came back from being out west, and I pray that she had. I don't know much about her. I have my inklings. I will say she didn't harm me, but I did get near a man, and that's when I knew something was wrong. Um, you could feel you could feel problems, and it's not cool. It's really not cool. And there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with this stuff, and they don't even know it. And I worry at times that that's why I keep myself so separated from people in general, and I worry about, okay, well, I think I hear, because I know at one point in my life I was so close to him, and then I went out west, and shit got crazy. People really need to be careful of these cults that are being created. This hive mind. Oh, now I'm gonna get real. Who this hive mind shit that's going on where we're all a collective, we're all one. Okay, I to a point I can understand because mental telepathy is real. Something I've done since I was a kid. I told you about the white. Yes. Jason told me your God can't help you this time. I want to say it. I pray all the angels and my guides and everybody are with me and will stay with me strong from here on out with that piece of shit. Because they live off of fear. They live off of fear. And I know it. And I can't say I've encountered that. She was in the astral plane. If so, was also. Was she really? Ooh, you just gave me chills. She was in the astral plane. She was not in the astral. Well, she could have been. I don't know what how far that true. I don't know if yes, an astral. Um yeah, I don't think I could have astral planed while I was at West, but I was told that I was hugging everybody, and I was I hugged a group of people, and I was so what we would call, I guess, awake. I was ascended. I know I had ascended to a what level, I'm not sure. At least that's how I call it. I was hugging a group of people. There was a guy from the UK that was on the outside, and this poor young man who was 18 was in the middle of the big circle. And I looked over as the guy was yelling, "Where are we going? Where are we going?" And I looked at him and I said, "What do you mean?" And he literally was probably about that far off the ground. And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Where are you taking us?" I was like, "I don't know, pick a destination." I was being funny, quirky about it. Oh, that makes sense. Holy mother of mercy. Oh, wow. Okay. That makes sense. So the depiction of her being red is not even real. But that makes Sorry, I got who. That would probably be why that one I woke up with that one behind me, but it was not a drake. It was just a reptilian behind me in my bed, and I turn around and it was just its teeth were like venom. All I could think of was a green venom, and it just was like I can't. It didn't have words. It was just like rah 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 rah. I will have to admit the one that took me astroplaning, I yelled her name, and it that reptilian was gone. Um, but people, she, I don't know how to explain it because there's so much to this, and I'm really glad you're here answering things for me too, Marty. She would jump on my bed to try and I don't know if she was trying to get me over fear or whatnot. She was jumping on my bed around the same time all of this was happening, and I'd asked her. I was like, "Are you jumping on my bed?" And then I got a text that yes, it was her. See her. She is a star. It says I star, but you're also stating that she's Isis, right? She was in the astral plane. If so, Lilith was also Isis. Isis would be the Egyptian goddess, correct? Um, my talk about. I just want a group of heavenly angels to be hanging out with me. Um, and if that can't be possible, to please give me the intelligence to know how to just. Okay, all right, because my neighbor was a medium. My neighbor, my old place, that I had to get away from. There was some dark entities in that place. I even had a druid come over that was dating my niece, and he told me that the devil was in that house. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And he goes, "No." I said, "Well, where is he?" And my bathroom was like my sacred. I don't know what it is. My bathrooms are my sacred space. Ever since I've been a deep prayer, and really communicating with um, the presence of the Messiah, bathrooms end up being my go-to. Um, Run and hide, not run and hide, but run and have alone time, whether it be in a fast food restaurant. And I started doing it here again now. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. My neighbor. Thank you. Getting my connections pretty quick again. Um, my neighbor called herself Isis, and I can see the dog's face. He's the guy of the underworld for the Egyptian gods. The dog, black dog head and body. And here in about 20 miles away, because I'm not going to give up my location per se. I can tell my brother if they want to find me, they gotta hunt me down. Believe me, they do. Um, in that mall, they have stuff. Oh God, somebody's messing with me. They have the tablet. I should say, they had the tablet from an Egyptian archaeologist. You can bring stuff there and you can sell. They had a tablet, and that guy actually came to me. This was the southern tribe of the fallen Egyptian and northern. Had yeah, and the wolf, that dog. I believe you're saying he's Anubis. Anyway, I'm not going to make any assumptions at this moment. I'm not in clear enough mind, which I really. Anyway, had came to me in an astro dream and told me to get that for him. Well, again, my neighbor believes that she's Isis and that he is um, the dog. Oh my gosh, it is like right there. I know what it is. It's my worry. And then her just showing up again. It's my fear that I need to get over need to get over talking about this stuff because it is important that this stuff comes out because this shit is real and people are playing around with portals, which has been going on for a while. Portals have been opening up in front of me. I mean, just ridiculous. I've seen them come from the sky. I've seen them come up from the ground. But anyway, the neighbor I had was telling me that that's who they were. Her man told me he doesn't like helping light workers. He wanted me to go into the devil's hole to get a stone, telling me that there's a stone in there for me. Okay, I might be gullible and naive, but definitely not gonna go do something that somebody that I know devils with some messed up stuff is going to do to go get something. So I was like, all right, stopped going to their house and then shit got real crazy to the point where I knew something was going on. Come to find out he was doing black magic on me, like curses wise, which seems to be not everybody's, let me put it that way, or change it the way I'm speaking this, seems to be, again, as if I'm not wearing the right armor or whatnot. I stopped shine. I literally have, I know I have because oh, you need to shine. You need to shine. You know what? I was, and guess what? I was a fucking moving target. And then I go and I ask for help from people that are turning around and had been using my energy. And this is stuff that I swear I know, that I'm given the information. And it's like, okay, well, what do I do about this? Well, what do I do about it? I'm trying. I do, I've prayed, I've asked for help, and then I get help. Marty, you had spoken about people taking your energy. Now I'm going to talk about that one. I have, okay, you know what? This just came to mind. I have to ask you this first, Marty. If somebody has hellhounds, pet hellhounds, you can't, they're obviously dabbling in the dark, correct? Wow. Serious B. Now, dude, I really want you to review, like, talk to your people and help me make sure that I'm doing right. I've been told that I have serious B energy. I get pointed at hellhounds. Hellhounds. Two people have told me they have pet hellhounds. The one who took me astroplaning and my brother who has passed. I will tell you this: there are no dogs in that old neighborhood. one night I had woke up, and you still can, I've got a triangular, I still have like a triangular where they took my blood. And I don't understand why they did it in a triangular fashion, but they did. Fresh 3 dots. And I knew I was taken. Don't know why. Knew I was. And it was like the next day, next night, I heard dogs whining, 2 dogs whining outside my door, or outside of the wall of my trailer. And the first thing I thought of was, those are 2 hellhounds whining. But they were whining. That's the other thing too, is they were whining. They weren't barking. they weren't barking. They were whining. Um, and all I could think of was, at that point, my heart was open. I cared. That was the downfall of a lot of my problems. I cared for everyone and everything. I was at a point where I felt that love was so great and so magnificent, that there's many out there that are going through life that don't know what love is. And I would be, even though I wasn't 100% sure either, I've not had, long story short, that I would be able to try to show them what it was, and they would decide to change. They decide to be different. Um, yeah, I naive, yes, more so than the now, that you definitely can't change people. You can be the best version of you. I can be the best version of me, and lead by example. A good way to put it, I guess. So you've heard the tells, but not clear, on the hellhounds. Yeah, it's because I would assume hellhounds, hell, you have to be dabbling in dark magic or the lower realms, for sure. Or is what I'm feeling, for the lower realms, to be able to get pets like that. Um, Now I believe it would be an astral, Marty, where I've encountered a fairy when I woke up, but I'm going off the subject of the main thing is, I do want to clarify one more time to make sure I got it out, that there's groups that are starting out real small, and they're doing really great with the messages. When I heard this video today, it was posted today, it validated something that I've been feeling, and feeling like I'm hearing and know, just I know. And it's that people are channeling, they started out channeling really good messages, and then they get infiltrated once they get a certain amount of people going. I've seen this many years ago happen, and it's happening more now also, I believe. And the thing is you get so brainwashed and hypnotized by listening to these people that you get drawn in to their narrative because it's pure at the time, and then gets stagnant and muddy. But you're already drawn in. It's a cult. You're already in. You don't realize. Some people will realize and be able to get out, but you still have that separation of separating yourself from those triggers, I guess you could say, that were placed on you from the skinwalkers. Wow. Yes, channeling, you extremely careful. Absolutely. I personally, I don't try to. Typing, and I was trying to do an email earlier this morning, and then all of a sudden it just, I don't know if it's higher self, what, but it the conversation went completely different. Um, it was basically having to do with what I'm talking about, bringing light to the darkness, that there's a lot of shit going on with this evolution, human evolution, and opening our brain, expanding our minds into a higher consciousness, using more of our brain is my perspective of how. But they're also getting masses to get into, okay, all right, getting masses into doing the astral traveling and the projecting and all that, and at the same time I'm getting that they're doing this because they're trying to collect souls this way and bring in the darkness into the bodies. bring it bring darkness. Oh my god, that's not cute. Bring in, they're taking somebody channeled it and they called it soul scalping, and this is from like a lady who channels, not Grays or anything like that, a different being. Wow. So I know I don't have any people who watch me, but I really hope I've learned electronics enough that we are energy and it does vibrate through. And I know I'm at a lower, if anything, probably a lower vibrational, but the higher vibrational you go does not make you any safer. I don't care what anybody says. It does not make you any safer. You see a lot more fucking crazy shit, but it does not make you safer. The skinwalkers and the shapeshifters, man, that's out west. That's definitely something that's out west, and encountered that. Shapeshifters, now, is that a certain being, or isn't that a shamanic rite of pass? Is that even an accurate statement? That's what came through as I was saying that. Because, for example, the white buffalo lady would turn into a white buffalo for the Native Americans, but then again, shapeshifting comes from the Native, from the Native Americans, isn't it? But Italians, I've heard that Italians also have. Here we go, shamans. I'm trying to be here. Again, I think I'm really starting to understand. It really is a matter of fear of what's going to come out of my mouth. And it's just, I need to be very blunt in me. So when it comes to dealing with other things, like I said, I know I've been abducted. I was aware of one of them, not so much that I think I astroplaned onto their ship, to be honest with you. And one of my cats was one who made me aware that what I was doing. I was actually on a ship, and it almost, they look like the Egyptians, the elongated skull, but I don't recall what they were wearing, if they even had anything on. It wasn't Egyptian clothing, but they were doing something. They were testing somebody on a table, and the lady looked at me, and her pupils were huge, as if you were like taking acid. I call them frog eyes, because your pupils are so dilated. And it's my aunt, witch doctor. Oh wow, mimics. Okay, it sounds kind of familiar, but I think that might be from a movie. Since you're minions, if somebody were to say you have minions, what does that mean? I'm really trying to know more of who I am. I know I'm capable. Again, it's one of those. I really want to be a good person. I really want to know I'm good inside, and I worry that I'm not. I've had because I will meet people and they're like, "Oh, you're dark." Then we other people and they're like, "Oh my God, you're so bright." So I don't know if it's like a moment that I'm in, or the Egyptians were elongated skulls. Yeah. I believe the beings on Jupiter are also correct, or this is more of me going by a book. I don't think they're like as elongated as the Egyptians. I can grab the book over there that has them in it if you'd like. I can flip through the pages. Future stuff is coming to mind right now. I gotta set that aside, because when I was, one of those things when I was elevated more, I definitely heard some things that I'm not too fond of. So I'm trying. It's one of those, you really improve to, they had red hair. Okay, I've seen the mummified remains of those. I know there's a culture too that they flatten their kids' head and their face so the nose is flatter, and they elongate their head. They used to do it with boards, but the newer way that they show you now is that they wrap them. But I remember learning in school that they used boards, the back and the front of the child's head. But minions, if somebody were to tell you that you have minions, I was told many years ago that I have a lot of minions, and I didn't understand completely what that meant. And I don't know why I'm bringing it up now, because they definitely haven't helped me that great deal, or I'm not that great of a dictator, one of the two. Want to make sure I get to the point on some of these, and I'm really glad you're here communicating with me. This was a global civilization before the Great Floods. The red-haired Egyptians. Oh, that's not cool. I have been told that there's two different kinds of gray, that there are decent ones, but they're pretty much soulless, and They just do what they're told. Okay, minion. Hence, right? Ooh, man. Um, wow. Yes. Yeah, the pyramids were before the flood. Yes, there's a lot of things that I feel like I know and that I have learned that I feel is truth. But it is good to have somebody to communicate with and versus just listening and researching, because even I can write a book. I can write a book about myself, but that's that's me writing about me. You know, somebody else could write something and be a completely different book. Kind of like going on here. You know, somebody's talking and you don't really have anything to base it on if you don't per se know. And I'm going, my mind's on something completely different. It's almost like I can feel like so many different energies tugging. Not tugging so much, but get over that fear of being on here. I think I've talked to you about the like almost clicking kind of sound, almost Morse code. Do you get that in your ear? Or that's something that I've gotten, and somebody has told me who it is. I was on their live stream and she's actually considered a shaman too. And as soon as I typed it, she had called out what it was. I was like, oh. I was gonna bring up about about the praying mantis. Because again, I seen a huge one. It was like that big. But I believe I have a little bit of knowledge about them, which is definitely all good from anything I've ever heard from people just speaking about them. They got their own way of life or their own thing. Yes, on the clicking.
Huh?
And I'm live.
I'm sorry. I thought you said.
Yes, on the clicking and the ring get more when they come. Okay, can you clarify a little more? Not only did my mom just throw my mental track off a little bit when she came through. I'm sorry, that's cute though. They look like a small old man. He told me he was 20. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, now is it particular ones or And we're talking good, correct? Because sometimes it's just a little bit, he told me. So they're talking to you right now as I'm speaking? Got me on hold. Because it's ironic that the ringing in my ears actually has gotten louder last few minutes before you said that it gets louder. It's about, okay. Sometime good, guys. Yes, I have to take his life. Are you saying it's going on 3 in the morning for you right now? I notice, at least around here, that it can get real cloudy, and the clouds will get real low, and it can get real dense and negative around here. Okay, so you're Eastern Central Time also. Yeah, it can get real cloudy, and then my mom tries to get her debut. I told her she can do her own YouTube for cooking. I've tried having conversations with her because she's taken us as when we were kids. Now that I'm an adult, so she hears me talking about her. She's going to know why. She's taken us to a lot of sacred places growing up. One of them was the snake eating the egg in Ohio, the Serpent Mound, which is wonderful because for years I talked about it. Nobody knew what it was, and now it's been on the History Channel and so forth. It's being brought up. A little more about that. But she had us living in a lot of sacred areas, and I've asked her last couple of years, why did you bring us around those places? Why'd you raise us around those areas? Because we're all here for a reason. Now, especially. And as quickly as people are leaving, whether it be disappearance for malevolent or benevolent reasons or passing away, it's happening a lot. You were shown the cloning tanks? You had to flush them? And you weren't. Soon enough, I'm going to have my own place and I will be so much more aligned because I'll be able to fully relax. There's a lot of energies in this place that I could only come visit my mom very rarely when I had my own place because the just impact I would of. I so feel like I should know what you're saying. Now, BUK, that's the name of the one that you speak to. That's the name of the guy that comes to you. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you're here, actually. While you're if you decide to if you can and you do, let me know the answer to the BUK. SHAIN would be the name. I heard it pronounced Cheyenne. It was a almost not red clay, almost like an Arizona red sand, but orange. If this is making any sense, but orangish. Orangish color being. They didn't have an elongated skull. They didn't have the gray big skull, but it was almost like a version of in between. Larger skull and slightly larger in the back. They had like, it looked like human feet. I believe it had 4 fingers. If I remember correctly, it had a gray suit with a badge. Now the badge was square. And inside the square badge looked like a planet. And I think I seen something move over there. All right. Cheyenne is the name. It sounded like Cheyenne. Are you here right now? In a square badge. I'm trying to think of I think it was on the right side. Square badge. I want to say about like, maybe something like that. A circle with it looked like a planet on it that was kind of the same color that it was. They say it was on the rim of the meteor impact, but no, yes. Book, I have not seen him in years. We will talk about Orion again in a minute. This is awesome. You're going to get me so acclimated to being on here and discussing things. This is fantastic. But the orange or the silver, it was a silver suit, but it had feet, large. I was like a size 10 foot. I want to say that they were kind of maybe my size feet, but stockier in a sense, if that makes any. I had a QHHT session done, and as soon as I went into the QHHT, it's what I seen was that being was so happy to see me, and I felt so loved. I felt a great immense of love, and it was almost as if it was a silver ship that we were in with a silver floor with a beveled window, and it had two pieces of a silver with the beveled window on the outsides of those two pieces of silver. And all I seen was trees. I mean, I could see openness in the grass and the ground, but we were up at the top level of the trees. Even though I couldn't, my I was standing there with what I believe was named Cheyenne, but they spelled it out for me Shain, if I remember correctly. But it looked like if I were to actually go out and look at this, what could have been a ship. It had a pedestal, just a pedestal on it. They say it was on. What color were the windows? The window was absolutely clear. Right, I could see through it. It was clear, and we were in the woods, and it said to me that it's giving me this view for me to feel comfortable because I put me in nature and leave me alone. But I don't have to have any human contact. I joke about that, but I'm partially serious, 90% serious. About the non-human contact, the nature. Oh yeah, me and nature. I love nature. But I believe the being said they were named Cheyenne. See, I just gotta click. And I almost want to say there might have been a triangle inside is a square with a planet, and there might have been some kind of triangle or something near the planet. I have not gotten an answer from anybody so far. I've went online and looked. Not that you're really going to find stuff online. I almost closed the video window because I don't like the camera on. I'm in my zone right now, visualizing. And yeah, it's again. It was really peaceful, but I've been told from one of the people I respect, female that I respect that channels. She had brought up that certain beings they know how to make you feel comfortable, which with this new movement going on with energy and stuff, and the encounter I've already had with a woman, you can things can be manipulated. And if people are messing around with chakras, you definitely can be messed with. So that's something that I've been more aware of for sure. I cannot wait to have my own spot. But are you familiar with that badge at all? By chance? Yeah, because I had an encounter with the other being, where the lady that was on the surgical bed, a poor woman, and that was where they taught a different being, different energy, different being, and they had a very elongated head, and turned and looked at me and said, "Can I check your liver?" And that's when my one chunker butt kitty ran down the hallway of what I want to say was a hospital building, but I'm not, quite possibly wasn't. And as soon as I seen her run down the hallway, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is real." And as in, I know I was astroplaning. This is real. And chased my cat. Sorry. So have you, by chance though, have you encountered, dude, they're getting noisy for me. Do yours wear, do they have badges on their suits? Oh my gosh. I'm not even joking. That's what I felt. That was, they were, but it wasn't the blonde hair, blue eyed, what you would normally call blonde hair, blue eyes. And what was really cool was the love, though. I really did feel a love. But during the session, something was going on that was interfering because I couldn't, I think of a fear of being programmed or something of that nature really did not allow me to get into the QH session. But that plus I was at my knees, somewhere that is not my space that I could attune to. Because even in that session, about 20 minutes before my niece came, I could feel her, even though and the lady even said that, you were going in and out. That's awesome. Well, then again, not all Pleiadians, for the most part, Pleiadians are good, right? But I think even through the channeled message that she does with the lady with the Pleiadian, had on this last recent channel, they said no matter what, here on Earth, throughout the universe, there's good and bad. It's just, it is the way this universe is run, or is. And when I heard that statement, I really realized, you know what? I'm past due on needing to speak out on what's going on, and that we can't pretend that, even though I want to live in a world of love and light, that there's more going on than peace, love, and harmony. Not that we can't carry that and embody it, but we have to look at the bigger picture and be aware of the darkness out there, and that it is our job. It's our job to do the work on clearing it, like the reptilians and so forth from the planet, doing our job the best that we can on changing it, making the environment. I guess what's coming through right now is making the environment inhabitable for them, however that may be for them. From my understanding, they live off a low vibration and fear, anger, quarreling, that kind of environment. So if I'm correct, then that could be why I was headed more. Pleiadians are not from the Pleiades constellation. Do they really? Very interesting. Very interesting. That is something else. Oh my gosh. See, universe, I need more people like Marty to hang out with, and this way I can be me. Yeah, because with my new, oh God, they buzz like you. So I tell them, you must, I think they might just talk to my subconscious or something because they are so talkative right now. But I don't know 100% of what they're talking about. Just gonna take a moment and see if it does come through. All I know is I am relaxing a bit more. Something going on, but relaxing a bit more. But that's cool. I know that it was a square in a planet. So, just to clarify though, and a person on it, on the badge, there'd be a person on the badge because it was just a planet with a possible triangular. I started fading out from the badge when I focused on it because it was more of a, am I actually seeing this, or am I starting to project my thought into what I'm actually seeing? But I know 100% without a doubt, because I know what it's like to astral project, and it's vivid. You're right there. There's no, like, to me, my screen is shady, and that you're talking. Now that's a hard one. When did it start? I can remember when I was 3 years old, looking to the star, a star. I always talk to the one, a star, a certain star every night. And I know I wanted to go home, but if I couldn't, that I was in the foster homes, I would, just in case you can't hear, I don't want to talk too loud because my mom has a different story in her head. And so I was in a foster home. We went around our mom, me and my sisters, and I would tell the star, because I believe that's where I was from, was there. And this was a Christian household too, so it's really, looking back on it, it's just a lot of confusion for me throughout my whole life, and I'm trying to fully come full circle to know who I am, what's going on, and do my due diligence appropriately. Now, so I would talk to the star, and I would see funny things throughout the sky. When I was 9 years old, me and my sister had a ship follow us in the sky. My sister, I've had my oldest sister and my brother had passed away. So then there's another one after that. That older sister of mine, anyway, she recalls a giant walking up to the window in our farmhouse in Ohio. And, old school farmhouses are quite tall for the second story. And she recalls a giant coming to the house and talking to her, and would take her on journeys. Now, if you ask me, my sister, my whole family, we were literally, I don't know how this works, but I'll tell you right now, we are definitely all different beings, if it's possible. And it's got to be, because it just, I don't know how to explain it. I always knew that that this is my dad, this is my mom. But I don't know how to explain it other than they're not. Abduction, I would say, officially started happening maybe a year and a half ago, that I can say that I'm actually aware of it happening. In the first one, Um, Hi, Alex. The first official one was the night I heard the hellhounds, and then the triangular blood work taken from my hand. And this was after an event I had out west, which I was told, thank you. I was told that, again, with those like LSD eyes, the people, I call them frog eyes, the pupils are so darn big. He looked in the screen of the TV and he was talking to somebody else, and he looked, and I know who he was talking to. And again, it's weird how they can use this, it's mystical how they use the screen and talk to you at the same time. Then again, it could be new age technology, so forth. And I'm kind of steering away from the answer to the question here. The official, I would say, the official abduction was about a year and a half ago. But the guy had said, when from what I call the cult that happened out west, he had said to me that, and he goes, they know who you are now. They are empaths. It's almost 7 a.m. Oh my gosh, Alex. Yeah, it's going on about midnight over here for us. Now, who exactly are the empaths? Are the empaths the ones using the computers, correct? At least that's what I feel as though you're saying. Because there's, okay, I know I am also, to a degree. I try not to be too much. Or I don't, again, empath. Now, that is a form of mental telepathy, or is that mental telepathy the same thing as the vibrational frequency? Okay, so then I know I'm capable of it too. To the point where if I don't shut myself down, I can think and feel everything that the person next to me is. Yeah, I'm getting conversation again. I can think and feel what's going on with the people around me, and if I'm in a large group, it can get. I start losing who I am. I'm curious. I don't even know. Sometimes it's good when we don't know who we are, right? At least lets us be whoever we feel like we want to be. So yeah, that's been a big part of my life is figuring out who I am and not trying to make everyone around me happy, because it doesn't. And sorry, like off subject here. So, geez, Alex, you just come in through a little vibrational. No, I'm just picking. So we were seriously in some deep stuff here, though. The gray and the tall white Dracos, the people call tall grays. I can tell you they have fangs. And that's the shit right there, exactly. And I'll tell you, dealing with the reptilian, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I can't. Not gonna say I haven't possibly dealt with one in human form. I should say encountered one in human form. But damn, That's some serious ass kicking. They're I have heard that they both are, and the Dracos are hardcore empaths. Like, I mean, okay, so getting ghetto talk here, I need to cut that out. I hear the Dracos are real strong empaths, and that. Oh my god, it's beautiful. So, when it comes to bloodlines, I don't know my particular blood, but I know I come from. My dad's side is from Italy. My mom's side is French, and I think French, German, so forth. But I don't know if that really pertains to blood. I had asked my doctor because again, I don't. I've avoided doctors for so many years. I choose to self heal with the foods that I eat and do the best I can. Holy shit. They came, wow. No, thank you. No, you, oh, okay. Yeah. And that was the night they told you that you're not going to be helped, I take it? I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you, Marty, Alex. But holy shit. And you whooped their ass. you showed you showed them, hey. That is fantastic. Yeah, I I've been told between my fear and my lack of attachment is why I get messed with. But at the same, it could be, and that, or it could be, information is another one that comes to mind, that they want something from me that they just can't get, and it pisses them off. And that's why I'm kind of happy I don't know what I'm doing until I'm in the midst of doing it. Because, you can be, oh my gosh. That's the other thing too. When I really get when I really get into my zone and I have a lot of alone time and I can clear my mind and so forth. I've actually taken, I guess, from what they've told me, is I've actually taken friends and one person from YouTube even, and cleared and took them astroplaning and cleared some stuff for them. Now, I don't even know that's something I don't even know I did. Did I see? It looked like a dino. The one person, they were, I want to say, they were minimum 7 feet tall. And they were minimum 7 feet tall. Their eyes, there was just, you know how people wear different color contacts on their eyes? Their eyes weren't, they were wearing contacts, but it was like it was covering something. It was covering their actual eye that I encountered last year in April. If that's what you're talking about, did I see a Draco that looks like a dino in the face? The reptilian I seen, it was laying behind me in bed, and I literally turned we were like this. And I don't want to experience that shit again, but if I do, I really hope that I'm in a different level of body because I wasn't born with the reflexes of a ninja, but I have I have gone into zones where I have been real quick. I tend to have quick reflexes. So again, it's one of those, you can be on a mission, you don't know what your mission is until you've accomplished your mission, and they tell you, good job, you did what you're supposed to do. Kind of thing going on with my reflexes and stuff, but that's why, fantastic. I wouldn't mind knowing people. What's going on? My cat is my Astro Kitty. Mm-hmm. What's going on, girly? I know I need to drink some water. Abby. Jeez. Do you smell something? I think somebody's smoking the trees. She's sniffing it. But if there's something in the room, she helped not only if I don't catch it by sensing it, because I have a tendency of just shutting myself down to not draw anything in. Because I've had anything from blue orbs, rainbow orbs, flying around me, the common white orbs, which somebody had made a comment, cats and dogs akin to the astral plane. Oh yeah, I have, my one is actually an astro traveler. She travels with me. And that's when, sorry, heart's jumping again. That way, hi. I had 4. Did you say hi and then leave? And then my other kitty, she's keen on anything that's shadow. She will chase it around and bat and toy with it. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You gonna come say hi? Alex, I so would kidnap you. I definitely would. I think we're doing pretty good. I feel great. I've got 3 people on my live video. This is fantastic. So, speaking on the have you had any encounters lately, Marty? And shoot, Alex, or that way, if you guys have had any encounters with this morning, video originally started with me starting to discuss what's going on that is not being talked about with the dark energies and in the shadow world that seem, oh, there you are at Nala. And she's so darn beautiful. Nala. You say hi? It's a pretty girl. Some pretty girl. The pretty, yeah, that's you. Do you see you? Do you see you? Yeah. Hmm. The small quirks. Would that be the little gray? And thank you, Alex. She is. She's my precious. That's my one of my preciouses. Nala. Nala. Don't pause. Maybe don't pause. Show the paw. Show the paw. Look at that. Wow. Look at that mitt. Look at the mitt. The pretty kitty. Oh my gosh! I've never heard them called corks. Okay. I think I've videoed that before, and in one of my videos that I actually did not delete, I wish I didn't delete all of my old ones. I believe there was one that flew by my face, and it's like a rainbow about this big. But the fairy that I had that woke me up in the my old place, she was probably about this big, I would say. I remember it being, I think if I remember correctly, it was more of like a green. She had a lot of more of a green color wing, but it was pastel-y, light, soft pastel colors. And I woke up, and this was not after planning. I woke up, and she says to me, she goes, "Are you ready?" Now here I am going through all of this crazy stuff in this past year, from being out west dealing with cult to dealing with reptilian, dealing with I'm pretty sure it was after I was abducted and after the dogs. Yes, because I was sleeping on the couch at that time. So it was after the hellhounds. She came, she was above me. She asked me, "Are you ready?" And I'm thinking to myself, is this real? Am I ready for what? And then a dark shadow one came in and poof, she was gone. So that was the one and only time I've actually seen a fairy. They show them. They show themselves that they're around. There's a spot that I like to go on a trail walk. There's a home house that I know that they're in, and I knew something was going on because there's never mushrooms in this area, and all of a sudden there's mushrooms growing everywhere. If the energy of the divine field. Are you kidding me? Before I left, and my brother, I, you know, however it may be, it is. Um, he believed his deity was Basset, the Egyptian goddess Basset. So him and I definitely had our own way of thinking when it came to things, but we were aware of a lot more that's going on in this world than most people would care to discuss. He one time in particular, he asked to walk into my room, and I was like, well, this is weird. Again, we lived in the same house, and I always made sure I was respectable in case my brother did decide to walk through the and I said, what's going on? And he goes, well, you got a veil over your doorway. I'm like, what do you mean I got a veil over my doorway? I said, well, what's it look like? He told me, he goes, the fairies put a veil over your door. He goes, it's a glimmering veil to lead into your bedroom. So what you just told, I appreciate you, Marty, having these talks with me, because you know what? I'm really starting to realize more of how I'm gonna swear. The fucking darkness has been trying to keep pushing me down further, to hold me down, knowing that once I decide, I guess maybe I'm appropriately speaking, once I decide that I'm done fearing all this bullshit, and after death it's hey. But yeah, because the divine is always. Thank you. I don't need to speak on it. That's beautiful. That's beautiful to know. And now I've got to rewind up. I know I love fairies too. They are so cool. My brother would tell me that they're finicky. So, oh my God, now that we're getting onto this subject. What about mermaids? I've had a mermaid. She came to me in Astro. I haven't seen her lately. She would have me come meet her at a rock, this large rock that had almost a heart shape to it. She had a crown that was built into her head, and it had stars on it. I want to say 7 stars. I could be incorrect, but I want to say that it had 7 stars on it. She had the jagged teeth, reminded me almost of Venom again. I want to say she had hair, but I don't even recall if it really was hair. But she was really sweet to me. She gave me a stone, and I asked her if I could leave the stone on the heart, and I would be back for it. But I really couldn't understand what she was saying to me during that encounter too. I sent you the video on email. Good. Thank you, Marty. I just finally got to started reading your text about the email. A bright light. Really that way. Not only did you had an encounter, but the internet did not want you to put those together. It would not let me stay. When did this happen? That way, or I might not have scrolled down far enough to see it yet. I'm sorry for your loss, Alex. Whoa, wait a minute. What did I miss? Alex, unfortunately, my 4th cat had to be put down because someone. Oh, Alex. I'm sorry about your Mew Mew. Many prayers, and you know what? That Mew Mew is going to come back. maybe even as a human. I'm telling you right now, my one cat, she is already prepared to come back as a human. She's so human like. Aww. Much love for the Mew Mew. You haven't seen a UFO in almost 30 years, Alex? Did you freak him out the last time that you seen one? Oh, Alex, mermaids don't like it there. Yeah, I've encountered the mermaid. I've been told the spider is really something that you don't want to encounter. But when it came to me, it crawled up and it did the whole thing up front in front of me, and I went whoa, and it asked me, it goes, I didn't scare you. I was like, no, you're a spider. You know, spiders are cool. And it was like, oh, most people are afraid of me. Again, not much conversation with the spider itself either, per se. But I had an encounter with the spider. I was told that those are beings also, and they're not the coolest. Again, this was during the time of let me love everything. Everything needs love, right? Well, sometimes naive stupidity saves you, I guess, right? Very good to hear, Alex. That about she went smoothly, for sure. Honestly, don't know what I would do without my two fur babies. They are what I've got going. They are my babies. My heart definitely feels for you. I'm like, I'll kidnap you. But in almost 30 years. So Marty had asked, what type did you see? Do you recall seeing a certain type of being? I think this is great, though, guys. Thank you. Because this is a spot to communicate and open up to. I love it. Oh, so you just seen a ship. You didn't actually see a being by chance, or not that you recall, because that can happen too. You'd be taken and not recall anything. Because at the moment, I don't particularly recall much besides knowing that something had been done and something was wrong with my arm, and I looked at my arm and I had three dots of blood taken out of it. Because the ironic thing is when I do actually get blood drawn, it has to come out of my hand. I won't let them do the whole arm thing. Forget that, man. Give me a little baby needle. The big look. So I thought that was quite ironic. They were scared you're gonna bite them, Alex. That's what it is. You know what? Now that I think about it, is there any real UFO sightings out that way? Do you guys have Any sightings? Sorry, I'm trying to get a better angle here to sit. Ooh, it's getting noisy for me. I guess so. Oh, okay. I don't mind that they're the. I don't mind the good ones not being afraid of me. I enjoy encountering when it's it's malevolent. Well, like so it was the long version of aircraft. Well, sky of they definitely enjoy this crowd because they are talking in my ear. See now you're waking up my mind here. I'm going to grab this piece of paper real quick. No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna wait. It's not those letters. Come on, where'd I hide it? Go figure. It's not this paperwork. I had written down there was. Oh, you know what? That would be why. I've got like this little small area that's mine at my mom's house. Oh wow! You had gone through. See, you had gone through the missing time era or the missing time. They get me at night. If they tend to bother me at night, so I wouldn't really go through a missing time. Um, Ironically, on the 11/11 of this year, I had a dream. I wrote it down. I was standing outside with another person. Now there's this guy that Astros with me that I've not recognized yet. Um, and he was here in this dream also. And I was standing slightly. He's a tall guy with dark hair. I will say that's about as much as I recall of him. And it was slightly cloudy. I noticed a spaceship in the sky, not a saucer or a long ship, which is funny because that's why I was like, oh, long ship, not a saucer or a long ship. It had, it's as though it had pillars. It was, I'll give a description of it because I can't think I don't think I'll ever forget it. Only I seen it. The other person with me, when they looked, it moved swiftly away, as if the ship was quite low. I thought or mentally was told we're at war. And to me, I've been hearing that for years that we're at war. Marty, you talked about the Orion Belt. That's something that aircrafts are and when you say aircraft carriers, those are what they would consider the motherships, the home base ship, correct? Um, After I started trying to draw this ship with like towers on it. It was a pretty good sized ship, man. It was in the air, but when I was trying to get the person next to me to look at it, it literally would move as they would turn towards to look at it. And I wrote down, wow, see, I'd forgotten about this. I'm glad I wrote it down. I wrote down space station. I need to get something to drink. Space station. I was told, after I was writing it, I hear stuff, and space station was written. So this is wild that you're talking about this. And I pulled that out because, okay. Now, the one that you had seen, did it have like towers on it? Does that make sense? Does it have towers on it? I've actually, ironically, 2 days after I had this vision and them telling me that we're at war, and I believe I think that's why we get such dark, low clouds around here, because I can wake up with lower vibration and in a more of a dense feeling. And not only that, but I get like a real angry, per se, real irritated feeling, especially on the nights or mornings when I wake up, that it's real dark and cloudy out. In this area, it's been getting that way for past year, maybe two, that it's been like that. Dark clouds and thick dark clouds. Yeah, when you see that shit, you don't forget it. Oh, no shit. Yeah, in the 80s, the early 80s, I was born in 77, but the early 80s, I remember it being people freaking out because they were starting to really see the ships and encounter UFOs, even though the government was trying to cover it up. Gotta love that. Oh, hold on, I need to drink some water. So we were talking about water earlier. This is what I drink. It's a 9.5 pH ionized hydration, but it's nine. It says 9.5 or higher. Purified electrolytes. If I drink anything different, I feel a big difference in the water. I also tend to talk to my water. I'll talk to my water. I'll talk to my plants before I eat. I will actually talk to the food. I eat vegetables and fish. I stick to. My body has. Somebody brought it up about 2 years ago to go on that diet, and I started to go on it, and my body is just, it's not happy. It's recently been talked about. My mom and my family think I'm ridiculous when I say I can't eat meat. Why can't you eat meat? Well, if I eat meat, I get like angry or more depressed. And I express to them that I can feel the energy off the meat, and there isn't a way to explain it. Somebody actually just explained it yesterday, that they're saying that, again, a channeled message from the Pleiadians, and they're saying that when you eat that meat, you're feeling the negativity. If that animal was abused, you're feeling the abuse that animal had went through. I will stand to somebody and say, for me, that is absolutely true. And even when I talk, you feel bad, but even when you're like, dude, I know you're an abused animal, but rawr, I'm gonna eat you. Even talking to it doesn't. do it as great a justice. My body definitely loves vegetables, and I'm going to bring up back to the topic of the um that way must have loved um topic at hand, which is I've actually talked to my food before and watched black smoke come off my food because I'm that weirdo that I love my spinach. And I talk to my spinach and I tell it, thank you for being here on the earth for me, for coming in, being here on earth and growing, having its cycle for it to nourish my body. And like I sometimes, when you ain't got friends, your food is your friend. And I started to learn though that the gratitude I'm giving to the food for its life cycle here to help me accomplish my life cycle and soul purpose has gotten me to understand a lot more on a bigger scale of how there really is a spirit of energy within everything. But it's still that we need magnetic water. Okay. I actually copied the water, your last message, and put it onto a different spot so I can always look at it, so I can get into doing this magnetic water. Magnetic water. That way skipped out. Wait, that way did you eat a lot of bacon? Are you asking me if I eat a lot of bacon? Oh my gosh, I used to crush bacon and poor piggies. My grandpa used to own a pig farm too, so that made it even worse. But everybody's body is different. We're on different we're we're on different paths. I try to explain this to my mom that your life is your life, my life is my life. I believe in things that you don't believe in, or you literally turn your head away from, and so forth. But you drink well water. Now, how do you feel about the conversating to the water, as in putting energy and life into the water through speaking to it, Marty? How do you? What's your intake, your view on that? Because I know people I grew up in. You're okay. Absolutely that way. Be you. That is literally why I changed. I used to be Love Child 007, and I switched it to being me. Do you sing to your spinach? Are you being silly or are you being truthful? Like, I want to know that I'm not the only freaking oddball in the world. It's all right to be an oddball too. Blessing water or food, it works. Yes. Okay. I mean, from my experience, I've literally, like I was saying, I've watched black smoke come off my food, and my brother was actually sitting across from me, and I went to go take a bite of the food, and the black smoke came out of my food. I looked at my brother in his eyes and spoke already, and I said to him, "Did you see that?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "All right," put the fork back in my food, and I said, "I'm done with that one." I eat 7% less meat than I used to. I always bless the water too. Yeah, I have not always. I'm not as attuned to it as I was when I lived by myself. But absolutely, I would talk to my food and truly give it gratitude for having its experience and being here for us. Absolutely. I love spinach. I buy the Dr. It's not pierogi, but it's something close to that. They make veggie burgers, and it's a lot of it is made substance is spinach. Oh, it's fantastic. Spinach is very good, and I enjoy my fruits, but fruits have a lot of sugar in them, so I try to avoid the fruit. And it is, yes, Marty. I did talk about the barter system because I honestly, I believe that is a way. That is a way that we can get out of this one of the manipulation systems, because part of okay, I know I'm not going to speak it as clearly as I when I'm enraged about it at the moment, but the barter system would, for one, it would bring more gratitude within our mind, body, and spirit, because we would be working to create whatever we did. And like I was saying, if you're a farmer, you've got all this fruit. And I've tried getting my friends into doing this. I got them into doing a large garden this past year. And I told them, I'll come here and work your garden for you. Let me get some food out of it. And you know how people are. I worked the garden and started producing vegetables, and they kept getting what they wanted, and it was time for me. I'm like, yo, can I go to your garden? Ah, we're done with the garden. What? But anywho, in a good environment, that was kind of, but in a good environment, absolutely. You got people who would weave baskets. You got your carpenters. This is the society. Because I felt like I'd received a message, and they asked me, they're like, "What?" A couple of years ago, what would you like to see happen here on Earth? What would you like to see? I would love to see and I expressed, I would love to see the barter system. It would give us all more purpose, more purpose in sharing, yes, sharing our gifts and talents that way is saying, and it would be, wouldn't it be wonderful? You got somebody who's a professional they enjoy being a carpenter, or somebody enjoys being a gardener. Then you got people who have children, but they're busy gardening or whatnot, and you'll have your groups of people that enjoy being around children, because I truly believe, and it takes a village to raise a child. How many parents? I've got 3 grown, but you go through a stage of, oh my gosh, can you please just take them? And if you got other people around to help you, it's wonderful. And in the midst of this, also society where it's a bartering system, it's not where one person's a gardener, one person does landscaping or so forth, but there'd be a group of us that would also. I enjoy doing everything. There's not much in I've worked in gun stores. I've sales rep, business, um, farming. Oh my gosh, I've done so many things. But and then fishing isn't part of it, and I've hunted before. But you can alternate. Somebody's sick. Well, okay, I know how to do that, and go do that. Okay, so then it brings it back down to the bartering, though. When you're helping your fellow man out, and you're helping each other out, everybody feels worthy. Everybody not only feels worthy, but everybody has something to do. Nobody would feel inferior. Nobody would, um, holy shit. I got 6 people. Whoa. I closed my eyes and opened and it's like, wow. So it got a little thrown off there. But I think it would be wonderful. I really do. And I'm really glad that you guys are feeling it too, because it starts with one person with a vision. And if others even have a little spark of the same vision, could possibly turn into something in the future. Okay, I want to catch up on some of the things that are being said. Tried the plant-based hamburger. I think it's called Impossible. Yes, that way. I've had the Impossible Burger at Walmart. Wow, that's disturbing. At BK, it's not bad. It really isn't bad at all. But I still would go for my green veggie burger. But it's very, again, it's Dr. PREGO, I think. I don't know where you're located at, but here our store Tops has them. It's the only store I can find that brand, and it be a veggie burger. Or greens. It's called greens because they make them also with kelp. The kelp, but I haven't tried that one yet because the greens is made with spinach. Oh, it's fantastic. Sharing your gifts. Stop it, Marty. Are you kidding me? Is that what they're doing? They're putting cow blood? I know they've got this weird gelatin based stuff that they mush in with ground burger, and they're selling it at restaurants, fine dining restaurants, as being real tenderized meat. That freaked me out when I was watching a top cooking show a couple, like 2 years ago, maybe. It was a bit ago, so it didn't make it hard to stop eating meat. The sandwich is always full of vegetables. The translating, so are you having it translate for you, Alex? You would be good that way at dictating, then, I take it? So I call my mom the dictator. Oh my god, that way. You got a lot of the weed, huh? That's not vegan. Are you talking about the burger, the Whopper? Nothing like 2 hours at 2 hours and 15 minutes ago. It started out about the shadows and dark magic and all this shit that's going on that people are unaware of because we're all caught up. That's the other thing too, being all caught up. Uh, on all these other new age videos that are going on. And when I started talking about that, I lost a viewer. Oh, I got my main 3 crew here. Yeah, I had 6 in the chat. Oh, now there's 4. Okay, we're down to 4 now. I guess they were insulted when I said I had main 3. They don't want to talk, so I can't help it. I'm only seeing 3. Can only account for 3. So whoever the 4th person is, if you would like to unghost yourself and say hi. But I've also been that person who sits on live videos and don't communicate, just sits and hangs out to see what's going on out of boredom. Out of boredom and no friends to talk to. Not really. I say I have no friends to talk to, and it's a matter of more of the I choose not to put myself in the environments they're in that they want to talk about or involve themselves in. Or they don't want to listen to my crazy stuff. Do you have a mouse in your pocket, Alex? The we, that's, an American thing when you say we and you're one person. But yes, I agree with you, Alex. So I will be part of the we. We do love you guys. So what would you guys like to talk about? Well, I got to get some rest now. See you guys next time, and many blessings to you. Many blessings to you too. Thank you very much, Marty, for being here and conversating with me and clarifying some very important things for me. You have a wonderful night. Oh my gosh, it's going on 1 for us. And I think they just said goodnight to you also. So what's going on, Alex? Ooh, wow. We are one, Alex, right? We are all one. But that's another big picture on what this conversation was about too, is how essentially in the law of one, all being one, most definitely that way. It's also a matter of I started this video because pure heart, open heart, pure heart, fucking bear hug everybody. I love you. Like literally would pour my heart out onto people, and went out west thinking I was going into a group of people that felt the same. I ended up in walking into a cult of black magic. And I'd never messed with chakras before in my life, and literally had somebody touch my back and my chakras spiked right up from top to bottom, and seen a whole different world at that point. So it is a new experience, and now with more people waking up, I mean, learning at the same time as I'm awakening of more information, but the unveiling of a lot of the information when it comes to certain beings, certain things the government's up to. This is stuff that I'd already known through my personal researches. So love is definitely very important. Unconditional love is definitely important, but at the same time, we got to make sure that we're not naive into being doormats. You know, and yeah, this is kind of like a touchy thing because I'm always like a hippie, barefoot, hug trees, and really needing to pay attention a lot more. I would. So we agree. And that is something else too. There's a very popular person that a lot of people have watched. I watched her for a long time. Um, a channeler. It's tough. Yeah, it definitely can be. And so that being is the one who also wants to put the chip, it, whatever energies that channeler is working with, want to put before COVID even came out. This I had heard this, and sorry, something that Marty and I were talking about before anybody else joined is rolling through my mind too, and it's the empath, the whole. I'm shut down right now, so if anybody's trying to talk to me, I'm not hearing anything but um, the one connection I can't disconnect. uh, Nonetheless, yeah, I just went. Oh, another part of my brain was like, "All right, we're taking over for a moment," and took me on a joyride. Um, you can send love to him, but you don't have to like him. Absolutely, it's being smart and not naive. Don't go giving a bear hug and kiss on a cheek, right? Okay, so I'm gonna change the subject real quick. Alex, you quit smoking still? Are you still a non-smoker? Again, no, we really do. It's something that's been on my mind that we really got to pay attention to what's going on many aspects. That way, are you talking to Alex? Good for you after 33 years, even. What's ironic is I stopped smoking, moved here. Well, not moved here, staying here with my mom until I get a place once this beautiful distraction ends, if not sooner. Anyway, I will quit again for good, hopefully. That way, are you being serious? Because I asked Alex because I really about to take the laptop outside and have a cigarette, and I'm like, you know. So, Alex, why haven't you done any videos? I haven't seen anything up lately. Bless you on the lack of alcohol, too. That's a really good one to quit. Personally, I was an alcoholic from age, was it 14? I'm not joking. Jack Daniels. Straight, no chase, between Jack Daniels and beer till late 30s, and then I started cutting down quite a bit, and then just absolutely quit. My body loves me for it. My brain is a little bit happier. Oh wait, no, I did take a trip to Carolinas with a friend, and she got me to her friends got me to have some drinks. I got drunk. She's like, "Oh, this is when the truth comes out. You need to drink more often." I'm like, "No, I don't. Drinking it's not good." The next day, come to find out that my energy, I guess, can be real intense. Because her friend walked into the room, turned around, walked back out, and said, "Oh, well, you know when she doesn't want people around her." I'm like, I'm hungover. But and it's really cool at the same time because Alex, your energy, I think I can tell your energy the most out of people's. And it is very calming. Okay, so after what I just said, and then that's because my father died this month. And my condolences. I'm sorry. My brother passed away on the 13th, Friday the 13th, 3 days before. But that's tough. That's your dad. Are you doing all right? Were you guys close? I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I could see you guys as being close. Okay. You just sent that text to me because of the fact that I asked you about your videos, correct? Lack of video? Let me see now. It's got to move too. I know. You can give me that face. I don't either. My sister, when my older sister passed away, she came to me for a whole week in what we'd call astroplaning world. She was passing away. She lived for a year and a half. She was only supposed to live for 6 months. And for one, that's the power of love. For two, that's when you're so determined about something. It anyway. I asked her before she passed away, will you please, because there's stuff about me that I don't, like I was telling Marty, I don't know what I'm capable of, but the questions people ask me, especially when they get close to death, really are profound. I asked her she asked me what's going to happen when she dies, what to expect. And I had my talk with her and told her, I said, well, obviously I'm still here. but this is what I think is going to happen. And I said, so being that you're going to be crossing over, can you please let me know how accurate I am so that for one, it's comfort for me, and for two, when people ask, I can say, well, this is what I know. For a whole week, she came to me, and I'm telling you, something between her and I growing up, she always wanted to look a certain way. She came to me looking that way with the same haircut she passed away with. Well, somewhat same haircut. She had brain cancer, but she was gorgeous. She really was gorgeous. And she told me, she goes, it's absolutely amazing. And it's wonderful. I don't remember too many of the details, so much more than that. But yeah, it's sorry, this weird sound over in the corner. It's not a mouse or nothing, but it's distracting me a little bit. But when it comes to death, yeah, it's my sister would said that don't mourn her. How'd you say? Celebrate her life. Don't mourn me. Celebrate my life. My brother said the same thing. Don't mourn me. Celebrate my life. And what's a little weird is my brother got into different stuff, but I swear I seen his spirit in the house too when we found him. So it's I've heard many things. It's what we perceive it to be. Like my one friend, she tells me, she goes, "Are you dead? Do you know anybody that's been dead and came back? How do we know what people are saying is real and what's not?" And I was just like, "Oh my gosh, girl!" I started laughing about that. It's the truth. My friend hasn't smoked in 30 years. I just started smoking a month or two ago, and I'm trying to quit. That way, you'll be able to quit. I know you will. He's quitting in the next couple days, Alex. Alex, are you talking to that way about my sister? Or yeah, my sister. Or are you talking about my sister? And they, depending on the level of awakening you're at, I see. With all of this is just there's so much to it because I know I've been higher than where we're at now. There's certain people that I can talk to. I've talked to on the phone. There's certain people I've just gotten near, and if I let my guard down, we skyrocket. Um, the best way to put it, and things are extremely vivid. It's crazy, and there's certain things that do hold us down. See, and that's where I've come. I have my teeter totter about um, living longer. It depends. If we have the opportunity to live longer, are we going to see the bartering system, or is it a matter of watching what's going on now? At least in the United States, what's happening that doesn't really get talked about anymore. But as far as what's I'm being told, from my personal experience of what's being told to me is that we're still at war. But then again, you could be in a different realm than me, right? Now you guys see why I have. You guys are my only friends. Oh my god, it's great. And I'm just barely coming out of my shell talking right now. You guys are awesome, truly awesome. So if I were to figure out how to do like split screens and stuff, would you guys ever do that? Like come on here and like really get down and talk? I feel like I just got punched in the hip. Which one of you guys are pissed? Just to clarify, Alex. Are you telling that way? Being a smart ass. Thank you. You know I love you too, Alex. I will kidnap you. I really would. If you let me. And they're talking. They're talking too. I guess tell Marty I can't per se. Who exactly it is. That way. I know we definitely don't. Hell no, at least not in a non-gay way. Oh my. Thank you again, Alex. That way, just to clarify. I mean, understandably, I know I'm an eternal multidimensional being. So let's get down to real here on how I really feel about myself. I just don't talk about it too often because, again, with the people that are around here, I can't say that with any understanding. That way you're saying the higher ups know we don't die. I think they call those guys elites are no lights. What do you Aw. The bros are getting along with you guys. Aw. What do you mean by no lights? If you don't mind, you don't have to explain. But my interpretation of what I'm reading doesn't always mean it's your what you know what you're thinking or feeling. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on up as you go up. I'm not trying to be a child, but I don't think I'm ready for it fully. Because again, there's a lot of not trying to be naive, man, but when you really have a view on life and then you get blasted open. Now I'm not depreciating it. I'm really appreciative that I have and respectfully glad I've gone through quite a bit of the things that I have gone through, and blessed that I've had the people around during the times that I needed it most that helped me through things, because I didn't realize certain beings, like when it comes to, I don't, you guys are being so cool and funny, and I don't want to like get all crazy on you. You think it's in the minds of the people? Do you believe in other beings? Other, as some would say, extraterrestrial? But yeah, I I agree that I know I have wars that go on in my head more often than I would like to believe. Or you're going into the, because there's many different versions, like the simulated reality. We're more or less all in a movie. And you got the grids around the earth and that hold us in. God, there's so many it's after one here, I'm wondering, but aw, I got a 24-year-old, and I'll tell you what, man, me and my daughter, we love our British people. And yes, Doctor Who does exist. I literally just ordered her a keychain with the phone booth. Cause you want to get on some real shit. During one of my heightened enlightenments, before I started shutting down again, if I've seen what is correct, man, we're not headed into heaven. We're not headed to a great place. In the world aspect of it, our galaxy is not doing too well. And that's if, see, I don't know if I'm hearing you guys or something, man. That's if cause some people don't believe in even the whole, yeah, galaxy actually being out there, that it's fake. The way that the stars and everything have been moving, and it's so different. There's so many different realities out there. Truth and reality. I followed one for a while, and then I would follow a different one for a while, and they think that they are elite, but there are no lights on. Yeah, ironically, my doctor, surprisingly, when I went to him which I don't even know why I actually went to a doctor. But he cleared some stuff off my back. I could feel the detachments being removed when he put his hand on my back, and he asked me some questions. You know, why I was sad and what was holding me down. And I talked to him for a moment, and he I don't know if this is correlating with what you're saying, but he pointed up and he said, all the way up, the same as us, all the way up to here, the same. And you brought up the fact that, see, no, that's what the whole universe is within us. Okay, now I've heard that before. Can you please, if I know you're typing, elaborate that a little bit? I'm not saying I deny that I possibly what you would call the third eye vision don't see what you're saying. As if everything around us is an illusion. Very good that way. I like that. To me, though, to be honest, at this stage, if I think I know something, there's always something more coming up behind it. More knowledge to learn. Because as I was saying earlier to Marty, I've definitely have encountered people that the devil with black magic, and have had to have shit removed. But again, there's that's definitely, you guys, that's a whole nother, sorry, that's a whole nother, if you guys were on a screen talking, it would make it, for me personally, because I'm still like going through. See, the whole universe thing is where I guess my concept of everything is not. I'm not where you guys are at yet. The best way to put it. Is Doctor Who and Owl. So I've had definitely some weird encounters where owls have been. What is it, The Fourth Kind? The movie The Fourth Kind. Certain beings will come in as the owl, and because it's to comfort the people that they see. It happened in Canada or Alaska. Abby, what's going on? You got that look about you. So, going on that, it would be more or less that I created you in my world, Alex. Is that where you're getting at with this? Again, there's so many. There are many. Many rabbit holes. One day I felt like I knew everything, and the next day I felt like I knew nothing. Uh, yeah, very good, Alex. Yeah. Or that way. Absolutely. Trying to be more of making sure that I'm well aware of my decisions. Who's Canadian? I'm not Canadian, if that's what you're asking. Probably if I didn't cover my mouth and talk. And it's after 1 here. I'm getting the like late night fog. Not enough time to myself lately. This building complex. To relax. So what do you guys think? You know, this is an interesting one too. So what do you guys think is going to happen on the 21st of December? Do you think it's going to be the great the great shift that everybody's speaking of? Which, to be honest with you, yeah, I don't know anything. And I love that. Thank you. I love darling. Yeah. To be honest with you, I think it's, well, you know what? If it's one of those create your own reality, I'm going to have a freaking, I say it almost every year, I'm going to have a fantastic birthday, but I guess I don't put enough oomph into my birthday that it actually happens. But yeah, creating your own reality can be fun to a degree. Because even though I don't like war and stuff like that, I still see it. That's very wise. I know everything and nothing at all. Just remembrance of the experiences. The 26th of next month. That's why when people talk about the 21st, I'm like, no, it ain't nothing gonna happen. It's gonna wait till the 26th. Is that not the truth? Yes, I'm a Capricorn. That way, that is. If that didn't wake me up at a young age, I was so pissed. And I was so young. I was so pissed. I didn't. My children, they always knew. They always knew there was no Santa, no Easter Bunny. Mm-mm. I wasn't letting Santa Claus rip me off for buying my kids gifts. No, I knew how much it pissed me off to find out that I was lied to. But it's the same. And then to grow up and realize when you grew up Christian and Catholic and then went to Catholic at school and stuff, not that serendipitous things didn't happen and not that I don't believe in the source and that our spiritual beings and learning about our energies and stuff that our energy making an impact and being as when I am open, knowing there's that word, right? But touching something and feeling a vibration and emotion off of it, or even like I had said earlier, yours is the 3rd of December. Oh, is it a Sagittarius? I think it begins with an S, being the beginning of December. Aww. That's cool. December. Well, I will have to paint you another picture for your birthday, but this time make sure that I'm not interrupted because it was weird. All of a sudden, orange popped up, and then my mom popped up. Yeah, that's just me. All right, never mind. We won't go to all that crazy. If I tried to paint not a portrait, but if I tried to paint something, what would you like me to paint? Alex. Paint little baby Groot. The tree. Aw. I'm glad you do. I really had more of a vision, like on how to make the paint to do a certain pattern. I wasn't in my flow. Something abstract. Okay. I know. I really, and when I definitely get my own spot. I got oil paints too. I can't wait to start playing with them again. So you gonna do a live video soon, or do a video soon, Alex? Your neck of the woods is really nice. Your trees. Thinking about taking a video tour of my trail walk soon here. I have a car that needs power steering fluid, and what I done was the other day took it to go put power steering fluid in it. Guess what happened? I dropped the cap in the engine. So my arm won't reach between the tire and the chassis that it's sitting on right now. Oh yeah. Haven't been going for many nature trail walks. That is the best way to live when you don't have to plan. Sorry, it's like you guys are an awesome crew. Not even a matter of a guess. Don't even know why I listen to half the people because I'm in my 40s. I was told I wasn't going to make it past 21 by doctors and stuff. I'm still here. You don't get disappointed if you don't plan ahead, if you live spontaneously. Stay in the now, good now. Yeah. It is much better than what it could be. Not only that, staying in the now. The translator's doing its own thing again. Nice. I'm tempted to go sneak a cigarette outside. Take you guys for a walk outside. I think the moon might be full tonight too. Pretty. Just be. It's wonderful when you can just be, and I can be me until I get like so in my happiness zone of being me that some weird fucked up shit starts happening. Like I time travel or jump planes. Nothing worse than being ripped back to where you were in the beginning. You don't even know how you did any of it. And clean your shit. What are you referring to as clean your shit? Internal garbage? External garbage? I heard with internal. Alex, I've been trying. I really have. I don't know exactly what it is to a point where so much damage has been done that I'm told to forgive and forget. And it can be rough when your ex-husband has your kids and you fight for him and fight for him. But I believe I've been doing the best I can for letting it go. And shit's deep. Don't be. Be real. I know shit's deep with me, and it's better than it was. It's the best I can say is it's better than it was, and if I can find that miracle, snap my finger and it works, that'll be wonderful. And then, like I was talking earlier, I've done, when it comes to the astral world, I've done many many group meditations and so forth, and it's a matter of like me really having a deep cleansing for sure. I know I should know how to do it. I'm still learning. And it's good to know I'm not the only one, because people see my shit real easy. And I'm trying. I mean, throughout, don't know what you've been through, but for the fucking bullshit I've been through in my life. Not saying I didn't cause any mayhem. I was a leather boot wearing, leather jacket wearing female growing up. I didn't take much shit from people. And then I went through a stage where I dealt with too much bullshit. But it is some things is really tough to get through, and they say we choose our lives and in what we'll go in what we go through, and if that's the case, I really chose some heavy bullshit. But if I'm right about my past lives, I still have learned to let go of things and stick to nothing. Freedom, pure freedom. Yeah, one day. But seriously, it's not as bad as it's not as bad as it was the last house. Actually, may I ask you, because Alex, you would know too. You would definitely know this. I know you can feel things through the internet. Am I different in a better way or a negative way than I was when I was living in the trailer? I would say probably a year ago. Because one can think highly of themselves all day long. Not that it matters what anybody else thinks. I really am getting down to, I don't give a shit. Clean your shit. I don't give a shit. Oh my gosh. It's getting late. Listen to me. Ah. Thing is they were telling you to take your mask. That was a big thing prior to the COVID, to take your mask off. Peeling the layer of the onions. Oh, excuse me. Wow. Aw, such a common statement. Yeah. It's the best way to look at it. I get to the good points and then rubber band. And that's what counts. Thank you. I have one person that I know that does. That's fantastic. That way. And I'm not pretending, but nothing romantic. Absolutely. And now I can feel my face getting red for whatever. But like I definitely have been there and I understand. And it's as though something just triggers me back to a lower form of thinking. But I'm still working through, as I'm told that I've designed, which partially I think I do believe too. I designed this life before I was born. And, and I see that as being true in many ways by what I've gone through and what I have still accomplished throughout it. But you guys are having too much fun. So you guys enjoying yourselves? What time is it for you, Alex? It's going on 2 o'clock my way. Oh, wow. All right. Well, you have a good night or a good day and enjoy going to work. It's going on 20 minutes to 2 here. So I definitely greatly appreciate the conversation and you guys hanging out. And thank you that way. And you guys have a wonderful night and morning and afternoon for you, Alex. Thank you again. Have a good night. Have a good day. 8:43 in the morning, Alex. Oh my gosh. It's only going on 9. Yeah. Well, you have a wonderful day.